Hi Year 5, welcome to your maths lesson for today, all about dividing using remainders. You've been working really hard on your division over the last week or so now, and we're ready to start applying all of our division knowledge into some more problems. But first of all, I'd like you to have a go at these warm-up questions. Think about what you need to calculate here and what you can continue to use a previous answer for to help you with. So pause it now and have a go at those questions. Okay, welcome back. I hope you've had a really good go at those questions there. And I'm hoping that you will have initially used your short division bus stop method, and it will have filled in your dividend over here. So that's 1,890. That's the number that I am dividing into groups. And then I am dividing by 5, that's my divisor, so that comes over here. And as I'm starting now to calculate this answer, I'm looking here and I've got 1,000. And how many groups of 5 can I make with my 1,000 counters? I'm thinking of them when we were doing those practical lessons, and I know actually I can't make any groups of 5 because I've only got the 1,000 there. So I'm going to exchange that for some hundreds, and of course 1,000 gives me 10 hundreds, so I've now got 18 hundreds. So I'm picturing all those 18 counters there. I'm thinking, how many groups of 5 can I make? Well, I know that 3 groups of 5 would be 15, and therefore I know 18 is not in the 5 times table, so I'm going to get 3 whole groups of 5. And I'm going to have 3 groups that don't, so 3 counters even, 300s that don't make it into a group. So now over here, I've exchanged those 300s into 30 tens, and I've now got 39 tens. And I'm having a look here, and I'm going, right, how many groups of 5 can I make with 39 tens? Well, I know 5 times 7 is 35, so that's going to be 7 tens, and I'm going to have 4 tens left over, which I'm going to exchange for some ones, and I've now got 40 ones. And I know 40 divided by 5 is 8, because 8 times 5 is 40, so 378. So my first answer is 378. Now, after that, I actually know I don't need to calculate again. I don't need to go through the whole process again, because it's just one more. And I know that 1,890 made a perfect 378 groups. 1,891 is going to leave me with a remainder of 1. This one, it just increases by 1 again. So I've now got a remainder of 2. This one, remainder of 3. And hopefully you've then found exactly the same, but a remainder of 4. If it happened again, would I have a remainder of 5? Hopefully you're saying, no, of course you won't have a remainder of 5, because at that point I'll have another whole group of 5. So I hope you've made a good start there with our warm-up today. And now we're going to lead into our problem solving. So I found this lovely picture of some blueberry muffins, and I'm thinking maybe I'd like to do some baking actually, but first we're going to have a look at this problem. So read the problem carefully. I'm going to read it to you, because the first thing you always have to do is really think about what the problem's actually asking you to do. And it says, muffins are packed in trays of 6 in a factory. In one day, the factory makes 5,623 muffins. Delicious. How many trays do they need? Okay, and how many trays will be full? Then it says, why are your answers different? Okay, so there's a few questions here that I need to answer. I've actually got, and I'm just going to label it up, and you can do this on any questions. I've got 1, then I've got part 2, and then I've got part 3. So those are the questions, but I'm just going to look at this information first and just work out what is it actually asking me. So muffins are packed in trays of 6. So I can picture that actually as well. And I like to draw a quick picture. It doesn't have to be a very artistic picture. And in fact, in maths, we tend to say probably shouldn't be too artistic because you're probably spending too long on it then. But I'm just going to do a quick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm kind of imagining my little baking tray there, or the little tray that I'm putting them in the box, and I've got 6 muffins there in one tray. And in one day, the factory makes 5,623 muffins. I'm going to need a lot of trays, aren't I, to be able to put all of those into. So I know actually now, looking at that, all of those muffins are going to be having to be divided into groups of 6, like my little tray that I pictured up here. So that's where I'm going to use my bus stop for my short division. And I know I now need to do 5,623. And I need to divide that by 6. Because my first question was how many trays do they need? And that's the way I'm going to find out. So I'd like you to pause the video now and I'd like you to have a go at working out that question on your own first, and then we'll go through the answer together in just a moment. Okay, I hope you've had a go by yourself first of all, and now let's see if our answers match up. So my first job is I'm going to think about these thousands here, and I know I've got 5,000s, but I want to put them into groups of 6, so I can't split my thousands into equal groups. So I'm going to have to put a 0 here, and I'm going to have to exchange those 5,000s over here. Okay, now I've got, again, still got 6, and now I've got 5,600s. Can I put 5,600s into groups of 6? Now, this is where my times table knowledge gets tested. Remember what we've looked at before? Let's make that font a bit smaller. I could just quickly type down my 6s just to help me. So I've got 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36. I'm having to go quite high here, aren't I? I'm thinking actually it's going to be really close actually to that. It's close to 6 times 10, but it's not quite. So after 36, I've got 42. 42, add on 6 more, I've got 48. Add on 6 more again, I've got 54. Oh, that's really close. I know after that I'm going to have 60. So it must be 9 groups. That's because I know that's 10, so that must be the 9th group there. So here, I'm going to say, right, that's 9 groups of 6, but it's not a perfect 9 groups, is it? Because 9 groups would be 54. So I've got 2 there that I need to exchange across. Okay, so then how many 6s can I put 22 into? 22 10s, I'm picturing all those counters. 22 10s, there's going to be 3 groups with quite a few remaining at the moment, because I've got 18, so I can count on, well actually, no, that's 4, so I can put 4 here, 4 exchanged across. And then how many groups of 6 can I get in 43? So that's 7 groups of 6. I've got 1 left over. I've got 1 lonely muffin that's not going to have a tray to go into. So I can't just eat it, unfortunately. I need to think about what's going to happen here. So how many trays do I actually need? Well, I wonder. Now, just check your answer, see if you've got the same as me. But how many trays do you need? Is there such thing as a remainder 1 tray? There's not really, is there? So now looking at this, I know I've actually got 937 full trays, but I'm going to need 938 trays altogether to look after all of those muffins. So it's 938 trays. But question 2 said how many trays will be full? Well, that's going to be 937 trays are going to be full. And why are my answers different? Well, they're different, aren't they? Because actually, that 1 remaining muffin, as I said, I can't just eat it. I can't just forget about it. It was made, and the factory needs to make sure they put it to something useful. So the difference is there because actually you've got 1 muffin that still needs to be put into a tray. Okay, so that's why my answers are different. So this is hopefully helping you to see that remainders are still a specific thing, and sometimes a remainder is something really important that you need to be able to think about how does it affect the answer to the question if it's a really practical problem. So in this case, the factory would need to know that they are actually going to need 938 trays. 937 just isn't going to be enough. Hope that makes sense. Let's have a look at another question now altogether. So here, I'm thinking about 92 children. They've been put into groups of 8 for a visit to a museum. How many groups are there? So I want you to explain and think about what you do about the remainder when the answer is calculated this time. Okay, so 92 children into groups of 8 to visit a museum. How many groups are there? Pause the video now and have a go at that question, and then we'll have a go together again in a moment. Okay, I hope you've had a good go at that question now. And I'm going to calculate it. I know I've got 92 children, and I know that I'm putting them into groups of 8. So I need to divide that into a group of 8. And I know in 9 tens, I'm going to get one whole group of 8 and 1 10 that isn't going to go evenly in the groups. So I'm going to exchange it for ones. I'm going to see how many groups of 8 can I get from 12. I can get one whole group again. Okay, and I'm going to have some children remaining. And I know then 8, I can add on 4 to get to 12. So I've got 4 children here remaining. Now, I hope then you've had to think about that explanation, and I want you to maybe just imagine yourself, perhaps it's you going on that visit to the museum, and just imagine in those groups if you said, well, I need 11 groups. Well, what would happen to those 4 children? Okay, imagine you're one of those 4 children who wasn't allowed to go because, well, I need groups of 8, so that remainder 4 can't possibly go. Well, that just wouldn't happen, would it? Think then, how many groups will there need to be? There's going to be 11 groups of 8 children, but there's going to be one group which is smaller and have that remainder 4 there. So actually altogether there's going to be 12 groups, because you can't just leave those poor 4 children out. They still have to be able to go to the visit for the museum. Okay, your job then today, you're going to have some questions to have a go at. Think carefully then what you're going to need to do. You have to read the problems very carefully today. And I really recommend drawing something to help you to explain. I didn't for this one, it's quite a short question, but for the muffins, there were so many things going on here. I just wanted to just break it down a bit, and I wanted to just draw myself that little image to help me. So think about how reading that problem very carefully and drawing what's actually happening might help to just explain to you what's going on and help you picture it just a bit better. So I'd like you to pause now and go and have a go at some of those division problems and really think carefully, what are you going to do about the remainder? Okay, in both of those questions I needed one more of something. I wonder if there's ever a time when you might round down and go back down to the lower number. Have a look at the questions and I hope you get on really well with them. When you are done, have a look at the second video which I've recorded for today. The link is on the video links page in the Google Drive. If you are ready for an extension, there's some really quite tricky multi-step problems that you can have a go at if you feel ready. But if you want to just stick with your division for today, then that's also fine.